Well, hello there. Welcome to Life After 3D, episode 27. I think it's 27. It's currently quite early in the morning, so if I'm seem tired and slightly, slower than usual, that's why. So, there's all sorts of things going on today. The first thing I want to mention that popped up on my news feed this morning when I was getting my daughter ready for school, this is totally out of the blue, is that today, it's currently Tuesday the 11th of October, an AI, autistic AI, is going to give evidence in front of the House of Lords Select Committee. This is some shit straight out of Blade Runner. I just want to say that on my list with all the things I'm going to discuss. It just fell on the floor. 2 seconds. Because, when you're tired, you need a list. So it's going to give evidence in front of a House of Lords Select Committee. It's unclear what they're actually going to discuss, apart from asking what the dangers of AI from an artistic point of view are to creative people and creative industries. Now, that's a bit like, asking a suicide bomber if explosives are a good idea, really, isn't it? But it's better than nothing. At least something's happening. Another weird occurrence. This has just happened like today and last night. Now, I know some of you remember a few years ago wrote an AI bot to simulate me on Twitter, and it did rather well. I fed it every bit of information about me that was available and a lot that wasn't. Unfortunately, it went a bit crazy, and it posted all sorts of random stuff. Then it settled down. It was quite boring, to be honest, and it was sort of like me. And then it posted something that was amazing, completely psychotic, yesterday, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was roses are red, everything's red. I murdered the gardener. So of course I put this on Facebook, and a lot of people found it quite funny and blah 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 and all this, a little bit of discussion. One person randomly started asking me very personal questions about my mental health, and my reply was, look, there are some things I don't feel comfortable discussing on a public platform, but to answer your question, no, I'm not bipolar, blah blah blah. I was quite polite about it. So imagine my surprise when this person has removed themselves from my friends list. Just making sure the light's on. Not sure why, to be honest. I discuss my mental health. I've done it at length for many years now, but it's on my terms, as it should always be for anybody who wants to do such things. I was speaking out about the dangers of depression due to overwork in the film and game industry for years, and it did affect my career. They don't like pointing out the fact that maybe it's not all wine and roses, and maybe the way that people are forced to work is incredibly unhealthy. They don't want people discussing that, never have done. But I've been fine with it, but it's on my terms, right? You don't get to ask me personal questions and expect an answer. In fact, to be honest, I thought I was quite restrained, because I could have just said, fuck off. Especially as it was out of context. So, that was, it was a bit weird, that one. Bit weird. And the reason I know is I've got this thing, plugin that runs on Chrome called FB Purity. And the reason I've got it is it gets rid of all the adverts on Facebook. But what it also does, it tells you every time somebody either blocks you, unfriends you, etc., right? So that's how I know. Not because I'm going around checking everybody. Right? It's just popped up. I'm trying to think what else has been going on. One thing I suppose of a little bit of note to people, mostly locally, is after 4 years I've agreed to start doing the karaoke at my local bar again, Turfioki. We had the first one, which was sort of like a dry run because it's using new gear, new setup to make sure everything was working last Thursday. It did. So we're cracking onwards from this Thursday. Now that's handy for me because it brings a bit extra money in, especially as we've had a couple of students drop out of the course, but that's part of the course, part of the course like that. If you know what I'm doing, I'm cleaning glasses. Really, so it's not ideal because it means less hours for me, but it's sort of made up a little bit by what I'm earning off doing the karaoke. And it's very weird that it's not like any other karaoke you've ever seen anywhere in the world. It is highly dysfunctional. in a wonderful way. You could always go there and see people singing songs you'd never see. It wasn't unusual to have somebody singing Rammstein in German. Yes, I'm looking at you, Petra. You could have a rather short person singing All the Small Things. You'd have everything from Mario Lanza to Slayer and anything in between. Nothing was off the books. And it was always a good time. So I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. And I sort of enjoyed it anyway, to be honest. The uni stuff, I'm not sure I mentioned, the course that me and a couple of the guys teach was said to be the best in the country by, I think it was The Observer. The Observer Independent. And apparently we've also been given 20th ranking in the world. So, you know, with that, you know what I'm talking about. So do they, to be honest. Maybe they're carrying me a little bit, eh? But yeah, I've also had a rather large purple patch the other day with my music. And this sort of thing hasn't happened in over 20 years. The last time was when I was recording Hobbs Lane. And I recorded 3/4 of an album in a single night. Not quite that level, but I did 4 songs on Saturday from beginning to end. And to be honest, the album, I could sort of release it now. Just needs its final mix and stuff like that, all the tracks. But my brain's going, yeah, but there's another couple of songs in here we need to get down. The good point of that is, the more songs I've got, then the better the songs I can choose. If I think something's not up to snuff, I can just go, no, we'll hold that back. We'll, you know, put that back in the bin and look at it in a couple of years' time. So that's good. But again, I am a perfectionist. And I was talking to my brother on the phone yesterday, and he said, the trouble is here, if you're not careful, this album will never come out. We've been here before. Because you keep going in this perfectionist loop, and then it just, you know, and then it ends up changing. I've got to be careful because I can feel a change of musical style coming. I can feel myself getting heavier and going back to the rock and the heavy metal stuff. I don't want it to be like 2 completely different styles in one album, if that makes any sense. So, you know, we'll see. So a lot of that's what I've been doing. It's quite a bright, nice day today, a bit chilly. Luckily the night's quite nice, so I thought I'd film this now as the wife's out seeing a friend for an hour. So I've got peace and quiet to get this done, get it edited and get it up this afternoon with any luck. So yeah, I've got 2 days a week that I'm now working for the uni. Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday night I'm doing the karaoke for the turf. I've got enough time to sort of relax, but also, you know, money's not brilliant, but I can sort of make ends meet. Other news, Gypsy Dave Smith, who I normally used to play on Sunday, Monday nights, is now out of hospital and doing great. So I've got no qualms about the fact that I know fine well he will be back sooner rather than later playing. So watch this space if you're local. It is, you know, quite an interesting night when me and him play. It's quite unique, something you don't see very often. And I think no matter how well I record it and video it, it's never quite the same as being in the room. It's unique, it's got sort of a magic about it. So that's basically my stuff. It's everything on my little list here, you know, so that's me done. I don't want to rattle on for ages because, to be honest, I'm fucking tired. And I might have a nap on the sofa once I've filmed this. So, I'm Wayne Robson. This has been Life After 3D, episode 26, possibly 27, I don't know. And I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.